Hello, hello, good afternoon. My name is Holly Noel, and I am the Director of School Counseling with P2C. And today is our third synchronous professional development series for P2C for school counselors. And so we are going to jump right in and get started. Of course, I have with me my colleagues from the PD department. I have Ms. Maggie with us and also Bailey, and they are going to highlight more of the career exploration tool and getting our classrooms together, adding students, and really trying to dive in and be hands-on, again, to help us all to feel more comfortable with this tool so that we can utilize it more with our students. So Maggie, go ahead and take it away for us.
All
Thank you.
right. And Karen, I think you're the only one with us right now. Tell us where you're from and what's your school?
Yeah, I work for New Mexico Connections Academy, so we're an online school. And I'm in
Okay.
Las Cruces, but we have students all across the state. So,
I'm in Florida.
oh, nice.
Bailey is in Tennessee. And Holly, where are you again?
I am currently in North Carolina and I'm so happy. Can y'all see all this sunshine that's like coming through the background? I'm living right now in Detroit, so that's why I'm so happy to be
Oh,
here.
I'll bet. Well, before we start, Karen, I have to tell you, my son went to school, University of Arizona, and I drove the whole way from Florida, and Las Cruces was our last stop. And that's where I started to fall in love with the West in Las Cruces. So that's
Yeah,
it.
nice mountains, and
Oh
it's
my
hot.
God. And
But
my hair behaved because there was like no humidity.
yeah, very dry. We have lots of nice dust storms right now.
Oh,
So that's
okay. Well, I'm going to get started. Just a little bit. I don't have slides because we're going to be in the system, but I'm a P2C member of the PD team. Bailey is on the team as well. And so we provide all of that professional development that you'll hear more about actually for this summer, I hope. But let me share my screen. And oh, you don't need to see that, do you? Okay, is my screen sharing? All right. Okay, so Karen, do you have access to our system?
I do.
Okay, so you can choose your own adventure. You can either open yours up if maybe you have a separate screen, a second screen,
Yeah.
and follow me, or you can maybe take some notes and just watch. It's up to you.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to go into our system here, move some things around. So I'm going in as a teacher or as a counselor. And then I'm going to focus on career exploration today. You know, I love having one person, so I want to ask Karen another question. Have you used P2C yet?
I haven't used this part of it. I've used the navigator of looking at careers for New Mexico and kind of where it filters down for students and what they're interested in and their pathways. But this part I have not used yet because I missed the previous training because I was out that
So
day.
we're focusing on the curriculum today and setting up classes. So that's not something you've done yet.
No.
Okay, awesome. So there will be things in the system I'm not talking about just because that's our focus. So if you want anything else more after this, we are here for you. And you can just connect with Holly and Holly would say, here's Maggie's email and we can hook up. So we've got Brenda. Brenda just joined us. Welcome. All right, so we're in the system. First of all, two things we're going to focus on today is the curriculum, and I'll focus on that secondly, but I'll show you first of all how to set up your classes because I know that you don't have classes, but you may have counseling groups, or you may roll into classrooms and use P2C alongside these teachers. So let me show you how to do that. So on the screen, this is the dashboard. You'll see a career spotlight, career pages that students may have shared with you. You've got classes right here, and then some other resources. Let's focus on the classes. So I have already built classes because I use this in PD, but I'm going to show you what to look for. If I go to view all, what you will see if you've never set up a class is this big plus sign. See, these are all demo classes I've set up. All you will see is this plus sign. And as you add classes, you'll have more. So you'll go to add a class. And then you'll name your class. Let's see, let's just say counseling group A. I'm sure it would say something more specific for you. And then you'll pick a primary curriculum. So if you're a counselor, I'm assuming you're not teaching math, but you will have access to career exploration, our career story playlist, and our financial literacy. I'm going to focus on career exploration. And then you'll select an option, let's say online. Oh, wait a minute. Didn't you say, I'm not sure about Brenda who joined us, but Karen, you are online, right?
Yes.
Correct. Okay, so I'll stick to online. Your year, yes, and then you can color coordinate maybe by grade level or letters A to Z. I'm not sure how you organize it, but then you'll create your class. So I've just created this. Nothing has been assigned, so I don't see anything here. So now let's assign things. So what you'll do, assign lessons, what you'll do is go to the big, just remember if you're taking notes, the red plus sign. Okay. So now what you've got here is our career exploration curriculum. I'll show you that in a moment. And then, let me move that. It won't move. That's okay. And then what you have is a table of contents, and this is going to be very important as you select lessons and then teacher materials. But if you notice, these are all lit up, they're linked. So I'm going to click on table of contents. Okay, and then I know it's very small. Let me do a command plus. There we go. So just so you know, we're in the process of changing this first column. Although it says grade 6, 7, 8, eventually they will be labeled a beginner, intermediate, and advanced. So you can choose any grade level, even though it says grade 6. If you like what the description says, then you can absolutely choose that. You've got the career exploration area, and there are 4 areas. You've got the title, the description, and check this out. Let's just say you're working with a math teacher that's really interested in, excuse me, in working with career exploration, maybe alongside you in a CTE class or a math class. Notice our core subjects cover math, science, social studies, and technology. So maybe that that lesson is exciting you and that teacher, and you'd like to do this lesson in that classroom with that teacher or for that teacher as they observe. So you would notice the lesson number. So use this, go through. It does cover all levels. And just so you know, there are 2 STEM lessons as well, and 7 financial literacy. So if you're working in a school that has a teacher teaching financial literacy, you might want to open up your platform and show them what we have here. So I'm going to hop out of this. That's the table of contents. All right, now what I'm going to do, and again, these levels will be changed eventually to beginner, intermediate, and to advanced. So I'm going to go into, let's say, level 6. And then you've got all the level 6 lessons, and you've looked at that table of content. Now you're interested in providing a lesson. So Karen, you will probably choose digital since you're working on an online platform, or you could use our PDFs. So I'm going to go down to a lesson. Let's look at London Bridge is falling down. That's a STEM lesson in the core area of science. So all you have to do is hit assign, and then that will be assigned for the student. You can choose the start date, the due date, the student time, maybe and the due time of that. So you're going to launch it at that time, and then it will be due on that date. Okay, once you have students in this class, and I'll show you that next, then you'll click assign, and you can assign that to students. You can assign it to one student or all students, so you have that choice. All right, so I'm going to go back to the class. To my class. Okay, now let's just say you would like to work with a group. So you'll go to class roster. Are either of you, Brenda or Karen, familiar with Google Classroom? Okay, so in Google Classroom, you invite your students by using a code. So Bailey, are you with me still?
I am.
Hey, Bailey, do you mind dropping Karen and Brenda the link that they would use to provide this code?
Yeah, let me see if I can go grab it right quick.
Okay, and even if it's later, that's fine. So you'll use a URL, and what you'll do is invite students and then provide this code. They follow the directions, and guess what? You've now created a group. Does that make sense? I'm looking at you, Karen, because I can
Well,
see.
yeah, so I got lost going back to class because it took me to a different page.
Okay, you're following along. That's okay. Did you create a class yet?
I did.
Okay, let's start over. I'm going to go to my home. And you just give me a thumbs up. Yep, I'm there.
Yeah.
Home, okay. You should see your new class. Do you see it? Okay. Now I'm going to click on, mine's not the same as yours. Click on that class.
Okay.
Okay. Now you want to get a roster for that group, right? Okay. Are you with me?
Yes.
Okay. Class roster, click class roster. And then when Bailey finds that URL, you'll want to make note of it and save it, because you'll send that to students and maybe write, send a message when you are asked for a class invite code. Guess what? This is what you'll copy. That is not the same. This is different every time. So don't copy that code. So
Okay.
you'll get a new one that populates. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And hey, Ben, good to see you. Okay, let's suppose you're in a CTE classroom. Hey, and the teacher wants you to come in and facilitate a lesson. Well, if you want to have access to those students, they can add you as a co-teacher, but they need to have a class first. Does that make sense? Okay. All right, so that's how you add students. You know how to make a class, and now you know how to add students. Any questions? No. Okay, I'm going to take you into, so you can see the structure of a lesson and kind of what one looks like. And then after this, I highly recommend you go in and play around, especially, and I would start with that table of contents that I shared. Okay, so I'm going to go into a lesson, and I'm going to use 6.10, climbing up your career ladder. So it's in the STEM area, but the core subject is math. I'm going to go to the teacher view because the student view has everything you see, but a lot less. It's only for their eyes. So teacher view, so you're getting ready for your lesson. You can see it's a level 6. And then you can see the career exploration areas. I mentioned there are 4 of them. And this has to do with career preparation. What are the education requirements? So they're locating resources within current and future academic environments to support knowledge and skill acquisition. Again, our core subject is math. You'll see that in just a moment. Geometry, to be specific. And anything that you need to facilitate this lesson, we have created for you. So this involves a KWL chart, and then some slides that will help you move through this lesson. What I love about our career exploration lessons is they're connected to a career. So in this case, this is an occupational therapist. Let me back up. Maybe you're in a health sciences CTE classroom. So we've got a occupational therapist, and students are going to learn how they use range of motion to measure, using angles, to measure success and growth and progress for their patients. There's a summary of the activities. There's a launch, that's the hook, lesson hook. How am I going to engage these students? What I personally love, and I didn't tell you my whole background, I taught for 17 years in the classroom, is this guiding language. Because let's just suppose I would not use these exclusively for substitute teachers, but we have a lot of them in our classrooms. They're structured so really almost anyone could come in and execute this lesson with fidelity. So we've got guiding language. What do you say to students? More examples here, suggestions along the way, and this will route them back into P2C. The explore is the meat of the lesson. How can I modify this lesson to meet the needs of diverse learners? Again, guiding questions. And I love also, what might the students respond to encourage that conversation and that discussion? And then a summarizing activity. And then basically what it is, I'll tell you what this lesson does, is at the top, it's hard to see there, but they take an occupational therapist, and what they're doing is they're using backward planning. So what are the steps to become an occupational therapist? So way down here would be career exploration and learning about that career. And then I might, job shadow, and it leads on up to associate's degree, bachelor's degree, master's degree, and taking that certification that they have to take to become a certified occupational therapist. So it's a cool activity. And then once they finish, if they want to upload, they can upload it to their career page, which is almost like a portfolio for your students. So we love our curriculum. Hi, is it Brenda? Are you with us? Looks like you might be in the car. Welcome, welcome. Okay. All right, so we have covered creating a class. Are we good on that? Okay, we've learned how to roster students, and I've walked you through our curriculum. Again, with that curriculum, it's important to get to know that table of contents, because you can get very specific about what you want to teach. So Holly, that was our agenda today. Is there any, I know we've got more time, is there any other areas that you'd like for me to explore?
Was someone about to say something?
I was, after I asked the question, I thought I'd like to show her the career story playlist.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Is that
Thank
okay with you?
yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
All right, so I'm going to show you another aspect of career exploration that we absolutely love at P2C. Especially with your students in particular, Karen, that they're online. Well, let me not talk and get there, and then I'll talk. So again, I hit that red button that gives you access to our curriculum. And now I've already shared our career exploration curriculum. Let's look at the career story playlist. Now, what this is And usually it's our school counselors and CTE teachers that really, really love this space. The career story playlist, that what it is, before I show you, there are 32 lessons and 2 lessons each for each of the 16 national career clusters. So as you can see, the career clusters, there they are. And I'll go ahead and be consistent. Since I talked about health sciences, I'll click on health science. And so there again are 2 lessons, one in the lower job zone. And just so you know, that has to do with level of education. So zone 3 is a trade certificate or associates, and a second lesson in a higher zone, either a bachelor's or master's. So these are lessons. Let me go ahead and show you. Again, you can assign them right here. Here's the
Maggie,
teacher.
is this under career tools or classes?
That's such a great question. You have to go in through the class to assign it. If you notice when I click on career tools, it's not listed there. So it's going to be under that career. Once you assign that class, and I'll go back, I'll repeat this, I'll go back and show you. Once you assign the class, that red plus symbol will take you to assign this for students. And so it looks very similar to what you just saw in the career exploration. It shows you the career cluster, the pathway, the job zone. So students will know right away, I'll only need a trade certificate or associate's degree. In this case, a trade certificate. The grade levels, this lesson is appropriate for, by the way, they're all 9 to 12. And usually they're an hour to maybe an hour and 15 minutes, or in some cases, maybe an hour and a half. So you probably will have to chunk this out in 2 lessons, but within our system, we have over 300 of these career stories. These are actual interviews with people, mostly from, by the way, New Mexico. So I'm not sure where she's from, because I did write this one. But this is an actual video. It's approximately a minute, not a minute, I'm sorry, 7 to 12 minutes they range from. And this young lady is going to tell her story about becoming a veterinary technician. And usually they include how I got there, how I got interested, who were the people that helped me along the way, challenges that they had getting there. And then they almost all talk about their passion, which I love. And that's why we consider at P2C, these are almost like virtual mentors. So they're putting a face to a real person in this occupation. So the stories here, so you'd play it for the students and then you would start the lesson. So we've got our essential questions, what the students will do, their level of depth of knowledge from Webb's or their Bloom's taxonomy. And then again, anything that you'll need to execute this lesson, we have created for the teacher or for the counselor. Additional resources, so other kind of links that might go out to related resources that they might be interested in. You would share that with the students. What do they need to do before they arrive to this lesson? There's a launch. And in this case, they've got a journal prompt. The explore, like the other, are the meat of the lesson. A check for understanding, we created that exit ticket. And one of my favorite spots in each of these lessons are ideas to extend student curiosity. So it's like if you're in a CTE classroom for health sciences, let's say, they probably already have a good idea that they want to be in that field. So this is just a list of ways that the teacher or counselor can extend that student curiosity and get them rolling on that path. So take advantage of these. Although we have over 300 of these career stories and more coming, by the way, there are only 32, whoops, I lost it, 32 from the career story playlist. if that makes sense. I promised I would go back to classes and show you where to find that again. So let me go back home. I've got my class created, so I know, and I've rostered those students through that code. I'm going to my class. And then again, once I'm in the class, that was a great question. It's not going to be up in the tools. Find that, it's actually orange, I keep saying red. Find the orange plus sign. And then from here, you'll find that curriculum. And there it is. Are we good on that? I'm reading, I can see Karen's body language, so I'm seeing her shake her head. Okay, well, this is a short one, I guess, Holly, unless you want me to go somewhere else. I know this was our focus today. What do you think?
Um, let's see. I guess for everyone who's here, I know Karen, I feel like we're picking on you because we see you and you were the one that was in the beginning. We heard you say like you missed like some of the earlier lessons and sessions that we had. But for anybody really, like this is a really great opportunity to ask clarifying questions and to see if you need any additional support with like getting that classroom set up. I know, it's closer to the end of the year. And I was telling Maggie, that's probably why our attendance is dwindling a whole lot more because we know there's so much going on this time of year. And so, this may not be something that you may or may not start it right now, but it's definitely something to start practicing and getting ready because I do think that it would be awesome to implement at the very, beginning of a school year and incorporate this within your school counseling program. So I mean, this is the focus of the day. So we can either stick here or if any of you all have any questions, I think Maggie would, she would be fine, jumping around and showing you a few extra things if y'all do have questions. Anybody?
I actually,
Missed this in the first one. So I see how our end of it works and you assign them a code and does that code give them access immediately or do they have to set up an account first?
nope, it's an immediate, it's what sets it up. And since you kind of missed that, I will review. But before I do that, I want to encourage Karen, once you get here, I would like for you to go to your career page. You won't have any shared career pages, but when you click here, you'll go to view my career page, which is something that will be your own career page, as if you were a student, and explore this because we've got all of your results, and we can talk about this at another time of your matchers, but there are there's a specific thing here for New Mexico, and I can't say this when I'm talking to people all over the country, but since I know where you are, New Mexico has access to something called the lifestyle calculator. I've already kind of plugged mine in, and so I'm not going to teach you how to use it. That was not the focus today, but I did want to point it out because last time I met with the counselors, I wasn't able to share it. So again, it's from the home page. You can't get lost. The way that I learned our system is I played in it and I took our assessments and set things up. So you're going to look for career pages, shared career pages. You won't have any. See, these are some fictitious students, but you'll go right here to view my career page. And then you'll have access to that career, that lifestyle calculator, which is really cool. Okay, is this Brenda? You're asking me, you'd like to see this again? Okay. Okay, Brenda, are you with us still? I don't see her in our group. Do you all see her?
Yes, she's here. I think she accidentally only responded back to me.
Oh, okay. I don't see her on my my
Or
people.
Yep.
Okay, good,
Okay.
Brenda. I'm going to walk you through this. And listen, Karen, I probably will end here. Do you have any questions before I move on and show Brenda?
No, I think I'm good. It seems pretty easy to navigate around, so I think I can figure it out. Thank
Well,
you.
that's the feedback we love to hear. So that's very good to hear. Okay, Karen, unless you want to see it again, you have a great afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Brenda. So this is the dashboard. This is what it looks like when you log in. And the first thing that I told Karen is that under classes, you probably do not have any classes. So to show you what you'll see, I have to click on View All. Basically, what you're seeing are classes I set up in training like I just did a few minutes ago. You will see, though, a big plus sign. So if you're not taking notes, you might want to, because there is a sequence to this. So you'll hit the big plus sign. And to create a class, you'll give it a name. I called the last one Counseling Group A. Maybe I'll call this one Group B. All right. Select a curriculum. So you're probably going to be interested in the Career Story playlist, which I just shared, excuse me, or the Career Exploration, maybe even Financial Literacy. So I'm going to choose Career Exploration. You can also color code it for however your needs might be. So I'll make that one green. And then create. It's that simple. And I'm having terrible storms, so I don't know if something is slow, but once you hit create, Brenda, you will see that class right here. Okay. So I'm going to click on that class. I'm going to click on the one I created during this session, actually. Okay. Counseling Group A. So I'm going to that class. Look, no one's in my class yet. So what I'd like, two things that you can do from here before I talk about roster is from here, you can start to assign. So once you have a roster, you can assign lessons. And I think you came in probably about this point. And that's when you can look at that table of contents that I talked about and look at a lesson. Maybe you're interested in 4.3. Then what you'll do is you'll go to either a PDF version or a digital version. I'm going to assign the PDF to students. Once you do this, you've got a start date. And when you want that to activate for students, the time, the due date, and the end time. And then also, once you get your roster, you will have a choice to assign, and you can choose all of your students in that group or that class, or you can choose certain students. So there's that flexibility for you. So I'm going to go back to the class. I did this last time. Okay, so there's no one in my class. So now we need students, right? So what you'll do is you'll go to class roster. And I'm not sure what you heard or didn't hear, but because you do not have you're not rostered with students. What you can do, if you're familiar, Brenda, with Google Classroom, what happens there is you're provided a URL, and I'm not sure, Bailey, were you able to find that URL?
I am still working on that.
Alicia's here, maybe she can help us. We're looking for the URL for students. So once we get that URL, what you'll do is give them the code that you're provided. Just be very careful not to write this code down because it will change. In fact, when I demonstrated this last time, it was a different code. And you give the students the URL, and they will look for that code, and then they'll plug that code in, and they'll be part of that. They will be in that classroom. Brenda, does that make sense? And Holly, if we don't get that code here, what we'll do is we'll send that to you. And then you can provide that to Brenda and Karen. Does that work?
Okay, she said she has her classes set up. So I think she's good. Yep.
Wow.
She
That's
said, yes, she got the new code.
Oh,
So yeah,
that's
she's good.
okay. That is awesome. Well, at this point, I think that I'm going to stop sharing and answer any questions that anyone might have.
This is really great. And the more and more like that I've been like practicing it and even like listening to you talk about it, I'm already over here thinking like, oh my gosh, I have to find a way to get more counselors in this system. And I'm over here like thinking of contests, just thinking of all types of things just to try to get more and more counselors,
Yeah.
connected with it and then utilizing it with their students because it really is user friendly and it's laid out beautifully.
Right.
And again, just being a school counselor, I can really see the benefits of using it with, in those classroom guidance lessons, but also like in some small groups and even like one-on-one. So hopefully we can get more and more counselors connected.
Yeah, and I always recommend, I know I probably repeat myself in these PD sessions, everything that the student sees, why not share that with the parents, and bring them into that career planning process, which is a process. So,
Absolutely. Absolutely agree with that. Because I mean, we have parents on all levels, right? We have parents who didn't go to college or maybe only have an associate's degree or who did, have, bachelor's, master's, all types of things. But then, you even have some that have those masters and PhDs and they're like, well, that was, I went to school so long ago. I don't
Right.
even know anymore. Like everything is so different. And so just being able to like walk and talk with them through these processes I think is beneficial for everybody because that helps everyone to feel more comfortable and confident with maneuvering through not just like this tool, but like their life, like with them
Right.
making those better informed decisions.
Yeah, yeah, and parents are a lot of times uninformed, especially in our CTE programs, in our career academies, that when they research what plumbers make and see that's a viable, high value. Like I always
Every
say, like,
time,
have you
every time.
hired a plumber lately?
Plumbers, welders, all of that, like the
Yeah.
eyebrows shoot up and they're like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
But yeah, I absolutely agree. Does anyone have any more questions?
Hi, Alicia.
Hello, y'all. I've been kind of, I
Hi.
was also on the phone with Joseph at the same time, so that's why I was kind of in two places at the exact same time.
Okay.
It's all right, it happens, right? We just appreciate you for popping in and showing up for us.